I had to go to town and get another card. I ran out of card. I just had the card that I got this video camera with, but I want to go over with this fuel transfer system that I got off eBay. It's called a Flojo, and quite honestly, I am very impressed. I needed the system to pump out all the old gas. This boat has not been in the water, actually been licensed since 2018, and this tank here that I've got the hose in right now, because of the valve that was defective, it couldn't pull fuel out of here because it was closed. So it had really old gas in there, and I used this thing for the first time. It was a little bit hard at first to figure out how to use it, but once I started using it, holy cow, this thing kicks some butt. I could not have done it as good as I did without it, but I may have this. No, I got it right. Okay. I'm still getting used to using this. But anyway, we're going to fire this thing up. Comes with the remote. And you've got A and B. And it's got a safety feature in there. It will only run for 5 minutes and then it shuts off. So you don't walk away and leave it unattended. But, so what you do, and one thing I do recommend, here's something else I really like about it, is the power cord has a disconnect on it. So you can actually disconnect it, roll it up, put it in the box. One thing I'm going to do with this when I get done with it is I'm going to flush it with some soapy water, and then I'm going to put some RV antifreeze in it. I do not want to leave this in my shop, with old gas in it, so it's going to be flushed. Without further ado, let's fire this puppy up. 1, 2. Well, maybe I need to try it again. Maybe I clicked it too fast. Okay, there's an on and off switch here. Maybe I think this was depressed a little bit and it didn't fire up. So, anyway, let's do this again. And so, I don't want to tip that tank up, or fuel tank up, and get a funnel and go way up there and just slosh gas all over the place inside of it. So I've got the pump. Let's use it. That's what I got it for. And it's actually pretty quiet. It's not bad at all. So I'm not going to leave this thing on recording all this. It's pretty boring, but anyway, I'm really impressed. I want to get a hold of the manufacturer. Oh, and it's assembled in the USA. It's a very well-built unit. I'm really impressed. Okay, she ran about maybe about 8 minutes, maybe less. Probably not. I'm just guessing. And I thought there'd be quite a bit of gas in this thing left, but it's almost empty. But and whatever you do, don't run this thing dry. You'll destroy the pump. So when it's done pumping fuel, shut it off. Here's another thing I'm really impressed with. It's getting dusk. I hope this is showing up. But it's not only got the primary filter, which you can clean, but it's only got a secondary filter with a little cap on it. You can take it apart and clean that too. So, and it really efficient. When I had these in the tank, it's sucked it down to there's hardly any fuel left in these tanks. There was just maybe a little tiny bit in the bottom. Just very impressive. Okay, it's next morning, and Went to town, got 12 more gallons of high test. Almost $70 for 2 jerry cans of high test. Man alive. So I don't know if 6 gallons in each of these tanks is going to pick up, so I'd be a lot happier with 12, so better be safe than never. But I'm not going to video this, but anyway, I just got back. I'm going to put 6 gallons in this tank and then another 6 gallons in the right tank. Okay, here's another idea I come up with. Instead of trying to prime this carburetor and crank, get the fuel up to the fuel filter here, what I did is I went ahead and hooked up the pump into the line, the main fuel line, and I'm just going to turn it on and then prime everything to bring it up to the fuel filter here. It'll save a lot of time, a lot of cranking on that starter, because you don't want to replace the starter on one of these. It is a bear. Probably need a 95-pound jockey to get in there just to get to the bolts, so hopefully it's going to save a lot of time. Hopefully that shows up. I'm going to fire up the pump. It's a little dark in there, but see if it works. So the way I've got this hooked up, power off, it should work on the port fuel side or the left side. So let's see how this goes. There she goes right there. Pretty as she can be. Turn it on again. Now that's cool. That saves a lot of grief. I'm really glad I came up with that idea. Now we'll just get this hooked up. Okay, I got the batteries hooked up. I got the battery switch hooked up. I got it on just one battery. They're all charged up. Charge them up. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to turn the key on, and I'm hoping the sending units are going to work on the fuel tanks. So here goes nothing. Alright, keep your fingers crossed. It is on the port fuel tank, the left tank. So switch that there. And turn the key on, and hopefully send unit works. Here goes nothing. Nope. Don't work. Crap. Oh, wait a minute. I got no power here. Back to drawing board. Okay, the joke's on me. I'm tired. I'm working on this thing for over 2 weeks. No days off. I forgot to hook up the negative cable. So let's get the cable hooked up and let's try this again. Keep my fingers crossed. Don't do crap when you're tired. Okay, we have the negative cable hooked on now. Okay, I'm going to turn the key on first, and then I'm going to switch it. So, fingers crossed the fuel gauge works. Okay, we got power. So, here goes nothing. Alright! Woohoo! That sucker works, man. We got half a tank. I am one happy camper right now. I honestly didn't think it would work. Let's try the starboard fuel gauge. It's half a tank too. Alright! Success! Success, success, success. Oh man, I'm a happy camper right now. I honestly didn't think it would work, but wow, I can't believe my good fortune. Those sending units probably haven't worked in 25 years. Well, here goes nothing. So nervous. Okay, it's trying to start. I gotta mess with it, and I'll turn the camera back on, see what's going on. Okay, this is going on from last year. It's end of April 2023, and my issue was, I don't know if I got this on video or not, but I put the NOS fuel pump on there last year because this was not available, and you know, replaced all the fuel line, replaced, you know, the new valve. I mean, everything's brand new, all the fuel lines, everything throughout the boat. Still, it would not suck the fuel up to get to the carburetor to keep it running. I had to prime it all the time, and then it got really cold real quick, and I had to shut it down, and it stayed real cold all winter till, you know, late part of April, just frigid cold and snowing. So what I've done is I've got this old school fuel pump tester, basically vacuum pressure gauge, and I made a T here, and I teed it into the inlet for the fuel filter, and then this line back here goes back to the valve. So I got electric fuel pump there, tied into the carburetor there. That's a brand new Holley 750 Marine carburetor, and so I've got to put a clamp here to clamp that off. So when I start it, I'm going to put fuel up there. I've got a gas tank right over there, fuel tank over there. I'm going to stick that into the fuel tank, hook a switch to that, and then start it, keep it running, and see if I can get fuel out of this, and then I'll be able to tell if I got any pressure or not. But I need to find out. I think this pump's bad. It's got to be bad, because it just won't keep the motor running. Even when I got primed it and got fuel up here, it just wouldn't stay running. So this will verify it. Probably gonna have to I want to put a Holley Performance, a mechanical fuel pump. I thought about doing an electric fuel pump, but it would be a nightmare to put in. All the plumbing, wiring, and the safety switches. So anyway, I will come back. Okay, I've got the fuel pump hooked up. So what I did is, years ago, I hooked up this toggle switch to hook on boat ignition systems to do a remote shut the motor off, so I can winterize it. I just had nobody to help me shut the motor off when I winterize it, put antifreeze through it. So I rigged this hooked up to the coil. It's just basically on and off switch, toggle switch. So I've got hooked this one end is into this little block. Okay, and then from that block to the positive on the fuel pump. And then the other end of the switch goes into this positive terminal on my snap-on battery pack. And then of course the negative just goes on the negative terminal. Negative terminal on the power pack. So basically, when I start pumping fuel, I'm going to just go over here, flip the switch. There's a switch. And that way, if anything happens, you're not hooked up all the time. You got a fuel leak or something happens, it pumps on, shut it off. I should put a fuel filter on there, on an inlet fuel filter, but you know, I'm just doing like maybe a 5-minute test, and the fuel's, you know, it's not old, it got varnish in it. You know, it's probably 6-7 months old. There's no dirt in the bottom of it, so I'm not going to worry about it. But if you're going to do a lot of tests with an electric fuel pump, you do have to put a fuel filter in line, or any debris will get in here and destroy your pump. Okay, I'm getting ready to hook everything up. Fuel tank's here. I'm going to stick it right there, and then I'll put the inlet fuel here, and toggle switch is hooked up into the battery pack. So what I'm going to do is I'll hook everything up, get some fuel up to the carburetor. I'm going to check for leaks, and then if I got any leaks, I can just shut it off. And also, if you're ever doing work like this where you've got electrical and spark issues and you got fuel, always have a fire extinguisher nearby. Well, it looks like I got a bad electric fuel pump. This thing did work. Verified the hose is down the fuel and it won't even pick it up. So back to the drawing board. I'll hook up another pump. Okay, got the new fuel pump put in. This one's got a filter on it. It's a little beefier fuel pump. I'm glad I bought these because I couldn't find the other one last year, so I got these off eBay. But yeah, let's check for leaks right now. Yeah, we got one little leak there. That's one good thing I like about this. Pressurize it and check for leaks. Okay, just tighten it up. We get no leaks, so let's fire the sucker up. Okay, so we've got the fuel going into the carburetor, and then the outlet from the fuel pump going up and out. And I hooked this fuel line up here for the outlet, so in case the fuel pump picks up the fuel, it's going to cycle all through here, and then I've got it plumbed over to dump back into the fuel tank. So we'll be able to check this fuel pump now and see if we got any pressure or vacuum on it. It's got to be bad because everything's clear. Okay, for safety, I'm going to leave the fuel pump off until the engine starts, then I'll turn the fuel pump on. But the carburetor is primed and full of fuel, so this thing has not started since last year, so fingers crossed. Here we go. Okay, let's turn the water on. not, but the fuel pump's bad. Well, that's what we needed to know. I got 0 vacuum out of that thing, so hope that shows up. Fuel pump off. I think I got a wire crossed somewhere where I took the wire off, so we'll get that checked out. But it answered my question. We got a bad fuel pump. Okay, so we have to get a fuel pump ordered for this on Monday, and I'm just gonna go get a Holly Performance. So hang in there, and this is what I needed to know.